Okay.
All right. So yes, let's go ahead and get started. So exciting to see 20 some people already on here. And we didn't even do a lot to remind people. I mean, we started reminding, I think, like 30 minutes ago or something. So I'm excited that people had actually put it on their calendars from when we posted the graphic like a week or so ago. So yay. So like usual, I want to start with celebrations and congratulations. Lots are in order. There's just like last time, so many promotions, so much excitement, same thing this month. I love going back through the stats and just seeing the numbers. It's so exciting. So we have a lot of promotions and rank advancements I'm going to mention, but I wanted to start with a little bit of numbers on what our Epic Force organization did. Well, wait a minute. Before I do this, should we do the introductions of at least the leader team first, since I just didn't start talking without introducing myself?
Who are you?
I'm good at that. What'd you say, Deanna?
Who are you?
Yeah, who is this person talking? So my name is Jen Oritzen. I am, now I can say I'm a director with Epicure, isn't that amazing? And I live in Des Moines, Iowa. My colleague Leanne, we are a team, will be joining us in a second here. And then we have a few of our other leader team on here. So Deanna, since I see you, you should introduce yourself.
All right, I'm Deanna Perriott, senior leader, still 2 months in a row. And I am basically Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Leah.
I'm Leah Klein. I am in Appleton, Wisconsin, and I am a new director, which has been exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Catherine, I can see you.
Hi, I'm Catherine Morgan. I am in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I'm a leader.
Yes, you are. I saw Aletha's name at some point. There it is. Aletha, are you there?
Yep, I'm here, Aletha Drenth, from the Rochester, Minnesota area, and leader with Epicure.
So also very on top of things for Christmas, apparently.
Yes.
My God.
I'm a sweaty mess right now, so apologize.
Well, no one would have known.
I know.
That's what you look like when you're a hot mess. I don't know what to say. Tiffany, I think I saw your name.
Yeah, I'm here. My connection is bad tonight, but yep, I'm here. Tiffany McCullough from Maple Grove, Minnesota, Greater Minneapolis metro area, and senior leader with Epicure. What else am I supposed to say?
That was it, I think.
Okay.
And if I'm hopefully not forgetting anyone, Carrie Ann, I believe you're the last leader. Am I forgetting one? Anyway, I see your name, Carrie Ann. Where are you?
Oh, she's muted. You're muted.
I can unmute.
Okay. There you go.
Force and unmute. There you are.
I have a really bad connection this evening. So I'm Carrie Ann Krall, and I am a new leader. So I'm really excited to be here with all of you.
Yeah. Somewhere on the East Coast, right? Where do you live?
Oh, yeah, North Carolina, right outside of Raleigh.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay, so back to what I was saying. I think that's everyone. I wanted to give some statistics on what our org did last month. So in the month of October, that's our most recent full month, our org sold, and this was in US dollars, not that mystical QV, $41,409 among us. And then just so far in November, so we're on the 18th, we've already sold 30,215. We still have almost 2 weeks left of the month, so I bet we will beat October, which is super cool. And while I was at it, I was like, I wonder how much we've sold since we were open for business on August 20th, and that number is $147,357. So what? That's amazing. And then the reports also spits out something for me of how many classes everyone did during their own like as a total, people did during their first month, their month one with the Fast Start, and that was 354 classes were submitted during people's month one. So that's amazing. And so that means that $36,800 was paid out in compensations, and that's just basic 25%. That's no bonuses. So I thought that was really cool too. And we had lots of promotions. I got to pull it back up. Oh my gosh, where'd it go? Okay, so we kind of mentioned a few of them as we were introducing ourselves. Leah Klein got her first promotion to director in October, and that is due to the fact that Carrie Ann promoted to leader for the first time in October. So that's what enabled Leah to become director, because her other first generation leader is Tiffany. So that was the requirement to be director. Same thing with me and Leanne, the two-headed monster of Dinner Dispatch. We were able to become director because Aletha Drent promoted to director or leader her first month here in October, and then Leah was our other first line leader. So that's the director qualification. So that was super exciting for those. I've already mentioned those 4 people. And then we had Vivian. She promoted to VIP consultant in October. Vivian Bragg. Jackie Zelmer promoted to senior consultant. And the rest of these are all senior consultant: Vivian Fulkerson, Catherine Sanson, Mason Nyquist, and Kristen Zuberbeer. Is that right? Sorry. Should have looked at that one beforehand. But Leah, that's your girl. Is that the right name?
Yes.
Right pronunciation? Okay.
I think.
Yeah, I think so. So I am can't even believe how much has been happening in the first couple months here in our team. And I think that kind of segues into the first thing that we wanted to talk about, which is keeping the highs and lows of this kind of business, right? I think everyone, when we get started with something new like this, especially like ground floor new, it can seem like nothing can go wrong in the first few months. Like it's just raining money and everyone's excited, and you don't even have to really, not that you don't have to try, but that success is just kind of comes easier. And then maybe a couple months in, some challenges might start to rear up, and if they've not been in this business before. And when we were introducing ourselves, it might have been helpful to say that those of us who have promoted to leader so quickly, all of us came from differing levels of experience with another direct sales company. So we can tell you from firsthand experience that the highs and lows are a real thing, and they're totally normal, and running into a rough patch is 1,000% normal, and we have literally all been there. So we wanted to have, I think, Aletha, you were going to talk about your perspective on the highs and lows and how that's all super normal to run into rough patches. And oh, wait a minute.
Before, can I cut you off? Sorry.
Oh my gosh, Leah, rein me in.
That's okay. We want to start with the highs. So we want to hear from you guys what is going well, because, no matter how big, how small, we want to celebrate with you, because we know that little things are happening throughout your day, your week, your month, and we want to hear those from anybody who wants to share. If you can't, talk or come off mute, you can type in the comments too, but otherwise, please jump in and just share. It can be anything at all.
Anything you'd call a win, big or small.
Yep.
Hello. I'll just jump in and say I had 2 classes this week, and
Can I make animal noises?
And then the other one, the hostess was awesome and wanted to get to the next level, so she kind of pushed her whole class up to the $500 level. So I thought that was really cool that she was really motivated. So I just think, honestly, when you get qualifying classes, that's a huge win. So
yeah, especially that motivated hostess who goes the extra mile to make it happen. Love it.
And I think that brings up a good point, Alyssa, that I forget to ask sometimes too, but it's important that we ask our hosts what their goal is, right? Because some hosts, they don't even know, or they don't even care, or they are reaching for something. So it's important that you can be on the same page with them to help them achieve whatever it is they want out of their class. So.
And to your point about them not even knowing, even after this many years, I sometimes still drop the ball on host coaching and have that moment where I realize, oh my gosh, she doesn't even really, I haven't even painted the vision for her of like what she can get out of this class if she wants it. So you did a good job, Alyssa. Right. Wait, I get something out of this? I thought I was just having people over. Yeah, but Alyssa, you did a great job of making sure she knew, you know, that she was close and gave her motivation to get to the next level. I see someone, Nikki J commented, Jen and I signed up Saturday night. So that is a win. Joining, you made such a good decision. Isn't it so exciting to get in? And I think you were the ones, were you at Catherine's 100 or the Million Reasons tour? That sounds like
yes, we were. It was so awesome.
Yeah. So I bet you came off of that feeling like a high almost. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, we come from a marketing another business, and so we were very, very excited, and we're excited to change lives, you know, one meal at a time.
Yeah. Yep, you are here at the right place at the right time. Emily Blue asks tips on keeping hosts motivated. I see that question. That could be a whole call. Host coaching and keeping your host motivated is truly an art form, I think, and it takes a lot of, and you know what, even those of us who've been doing it for a long time, there's like, I don't say this, but like, you can't keep 100% of all your hosts motivated all the time. You're going to have an acceptance that some will be better than others. But there is a bare minimum of things that you should be doing to keep them motivated. And that's starting out the conversation, figuring out what about this has them excited in the first place. And you making a really good note of that so that you know, oh, this person's reason for having a party is fill in the blank. And it's important for you to know that from her perspective, because it might not be the same reason as yours. It probably isn't. She might just have something very simple as, I really just wanted to have a fun night with girlfriends, and she wasn't necessarily motivated by the free stuff. So if you bring up the free stuff all the time, you're not even speaking her language. So just finding out what her reason is right from the get-go, so that when you do touch base, you're using the keywords of like why she even booked the class in the first place. Deanna.
That had raised my hand. I bet we're all like, let's go. I don't know that it's necessarily good, but what I like to try to do in my first few conversations with the host is just set up the facts of what happens at every single event, no matter what it is. And basically that's that you're going to hear twice as many people telling you that no, they can't come.
Mm-hmm.
Like for every one yes, you're going to hear two no's.
At least.
At least.
Yeah.
So I like to kind of set that up at the beginning to try to avoid them feeling down about it or getting, you know, nobody can come because I've already heard 5 no's. It's like, okay, but you got a couple yeses, so you just got to keep going. And then another thing I try to set up very early on in the conversation is them understanding that people who haven't replied yet did not say no.
Mm-hmm.
And that those people are the ones that you just need to follow up with a day or two before the party, and that all of a sudden you have doubled the volume of who's coming because you asked them again and you reminded them about the cooking class, not party.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I think that was just 2 things. I try to always do those 2 things as a preemptive.
Yes, those are so important. I think it's the same thing that I was kind of getting to with the highs and lows of our business. It's the same thing you're telling the host, is that those no's that you're hearing are super normal. There's no reason to hit the panic button if you're getting those no's, because every host who's ever lived has gotten the same, the same story. And them knowing that before they ever get started kind of mitigates some of that I'm a failure sort of thinking. such a good point.
Can I add one more thing?
Yeah.
One other thing that you can really do, and I can tell on days that I do this or when I'm doing my host coaching, but actually asking to look at their list or have them take a picture of their list and send it to you. And you're not really doing that because you're looking at all the names. It's more an accountability. So very much like if you're doing health coaching or that, you're asking to look at someone's food diary. It's that accountability piece that someone's going to be looking at it. And so if they think they have to snap a picture of it and send it to you, it keeps them accountable of saying yes, no, that type of thing. And then you can have those conversations of, oh, it looks like you've had like 10 no's. That's totally normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. Okay, back to if anyone else has any, let's try and get a couple more bigger, small wins from since over the last month.
Can I say my high and my low at the same time?
Yeah, sounds fun.
So I had the high of making more last month than my husband, who's a full-time mechanical engineer.
That's awesome.
And then the low of a cooking class yesterday that had people in attendance, but 0 sales.
So yeah, that's
Ooh.
also unfortunately kind of normal. I mean, that is normal. Like,
it's
but it
rare
the
that
fact that you're not alone. That's you're the only one that happened to.
Yeah, no, and we're following up. We've got one sale that has actually happened now, a day later.
Mm-hmm.
It was just people like, just to explain what happened. The first guest had to leave because her daughter had swim lessons, and me telling her that she could just order tomorrow on the link prompted everybody else who was there to be like, oh, I'll just order tomorrow too. And then like,
Yep, I had that exact same thing in September. I at least got like 2 people to order first before like the third person in line was like, hey, can I, and then it's like everyone was standing there listening and I wanted to be like, no, you can't, because I knew that they were like, what, and then it was all downhill from there. And everyone just ran out the door. So it happens. Well, that's exciting that you made more than your husband. Did you like shove it in his face?
No, I mean, he was ready to put his 2 weeks notice into work. It's like, no, we need insurance. And This was a bonus check. This is not my normal.
Right. Yeah, the bonuses.
Yeah. It was nice though. I got bragging rights for at least a couple weeks.
Yeah. Anyone else have anything?
This is Vivian. I don't know how this Zoom works, so can you see me?
Yeah, we see you. Yep.
Okay. So I just thought it was really cool. I've done a different MLM in the past, but this is the first time I got like several repeat orders.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's mostly because it's a food item thing, so people want more orders. So it just seemed like a positive outcome to be getting so many repeat orders already just since August for this month. So I thought that was really a nice big positive.
Totally agree. You don't have to chase down every single new customer every single time. You have loyal, you can have years and years of those people sometimes.
Yeah, so that was cool.
They're doing their grocery shopping.
Exactly.
Part of you.
It was pretty nice.
All right. Unless anyone else has a big one they want to shout out, we should maybe move on. Okay, now, Aletha, you can talk about your perspective on the highs and lows and of being in this business and how to stay motivated.
Can you guys see this?
Oh, yes.
Oh, perfect. I remember when I first saw this and I was like, oh my word, that's me. But I think every day, especially as you think back over the past couple of months, you go from these highs and lows. And Deanna, I think you touched on it perfectly. Like you go from this extreme high of making a ton of money and just like ecstatic, like, ah, and then going to a party where you get 0 sales. That's like bummer, like as low bottom as you can go. I think I'm going bankrupt, probably not, but it does kind of burst your bubble a little. It's kind of a good ego, you know, blast to the ego. But I think one of the things that I've really learned in being in network marketing, but also I have a full-time job. So I don't know if many of you guys know my story, but I work full-time, 40 plus hours a week as a nursing education specialist. And so I'm balancing the act of my full-time job, doing Epicure, running the household with my husband. So we have 2 children, 10 and 6-year-old, and they're in multiple activities. And so it's really this balancing act. And so there's times where I feel ecstatic about the way the business is going. And then there's times where I'm completely overwhelmed. And what I've learned is in those times of being overwhelmed, I really have to sit down and prioritize, make a list, and figure out what things need to get done. And then finding things to like recharge myself. So like I worked out this morning. I needed the extra sleep. I usually get up at 4:45 and work out, but I needed the sleep this morning. So I did a workout tonight instead. So that's me personally, like I need to do that for my own well-being. But I want you guys to know that everyone is going to go from these highs and lows, and it's the way that you pick yourself back up and you keep going is that continues to build you up. So I don't have a whole lot to talk about on that. I could talk probably a lot, but I know we have limited time. But I just want you guys to know that it's completely normal. The biggest thing is just not quitting and keep going. Keep doing. Sometimes we have to do the yucky stuff, right? Like the host coaching and that type of stuff. It's not fun. We call it. It's not very sexy, right? Like it's not fun job to do, but that's if we can just keep doing those tasks and keep going over them, that's what's going to help us be successful. That's it.
Yep. Awesome perspective, Aletha. And you've got an extra challenge with the full-time job aspect. I think I wanted Catherine to share a little bit about that too. I don't know if I kind of got her permission to call her out earlier. Are you still on?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah. So just like Aletha said, you know, ups and downs during the day, ups and downs during your career. I've been in the meal planning MLM industry for about 6 years. And you have months where it's going really good and months where it's not going so good. And I just wanted to get on and tell my story a little bit. 3 years ago, I had a cancer scare. I had stage 0 breast cancer, and I had to go through 3 different surgeries as a part of that. But the consistency in this business of just all the work that I had laid into my business kept me going through that time. So even though I couldn't physically get out and do parties and do cooking classes and that sort of thing, I still had residual income coming in from the team that I had built and from repeat orders. You know, like we said, it's groceries, the order. So, I mean, it was really a blessing in our lives during that time when I was bedridden and couldn't do anything, that I was still getting an income. And gosh, the team was so supportive and a real high, you know, just to have that support from everybody. After I started coming down from the surgeries and healing, it was a little bit harder to get back into things. And then that was a low again, but you just have to be consistent, you know, just keep working your business and just do your best and things come around. So it's a good industry to be in. It really is.
I just think you're such a great example of showing that, like, I mean, so many people, such a major life, crisis, really, could be, could spell doom for your business, because you could just decide, well, I have to give this up or whatever, because I have to completely focus on, other things, which sometimes is the right choice for you. But you went through that, and then here you are, just like kicking butt and taking names, and promoted within a couple months of joining Epicure and organizing that whole amazing Million Reasons tour. Had 100, got 100 people there on your own, and with your team, and it was just you're amazing, and you've been through a lot. So I think that you're a really great example of not throwing in the towel, and what can happen.
Yeah, thanks.
Before
Cool.
I forget too, you guys, so the limit on these Zoom calls is 40 minutes. So it kicks us off after 40 minutes because I have the free version. And I'm trying right now to actually just upgrade it and pay. I don't even know what the cost is, but it's really annoying that it kicks us off. So I don't know if it's going to let me upgrade during the meeting, even though it's making it look like I can click something. So all of this is to say that we probably aren't going to be done in 10 minutes. So if you are able to hop back on once it kicks us off, then that would be lovely. Otherwise, I hope I can get the recording posted too. But anyway, yes. So let's, that was our first training topic, but then we want to move to just another thing that might be coming up with the holidays. So chances are you are going to be seeing family and more people that you might not often see over the holidays. And I know when I first got started with direct sales, I was like very anxious. Like, what am I going to say? How do I respond when somebody asks me about my business or what I do? And so it's just helpful to think about these things, because chances are the conversations are going to come up. And I think the biggest thing that we want you to take away from this is you want to feel confident and excited when people ask you about your business, okay? No matter what level you are at, you should be proud. You are an entrepreneur. This is your own new business. And, don't downplay it. Don't just be like, oh yeah, I mean, it's just something I'm doing on the side. You want to really just portray that you are excited about it, because that's going to, people are going to be attracted to your positivity, no matter what family member it may be. So yeah, there's a couple, I'm just going to read off a couple. This was from Dana Nicholson, who is our global director, but she just gave some words to use, okay? So someone might say to you, what's new? Or what's this thing I've been hearing? What's Epicure? I've seen you post about it, whatever it is. So you could say something like, yeah, I actually recently became an entrepreneur. I always wanted to do my own business and never thought I would, but this is a really good fit for me. I'm sharing and helping people make healthy choices, plus saving them time and money. It's called Epicure. Have you heard of it? So you could, engage in conversation that way. You could ask if they've been to a cooking class, probably haven't. And you could say something like, we're actually expanding in your area, which is just kind of a one-liner that some of us have grown accustomed to using, because we're always expanding, right? But it just sounds nice to people to hear, oh, we're expanding in your area. So that's something, that a line you can use as far as sharing the actual opportunity goes. And someone might ask you, another reply I should say would be, I'm so grateful to have a thriving side business. It's great into my busy schedule. It's really made a difference because fill in the blank. Maybe for you personally, it's just been a sense of community. Maybe for you, it's just been access to healthy meals, extra income, whatever it is, fill in the blank. So just some things to think about as people ask you is to just, again, be positive and upbeat about it, even though you may not feel it in that very moment in time, because again, of these highs and lows. So I don't know if anyone wants to add to that.
And clearly you're going to be serving one of your Thanksgiving dishes that you got from the turkey dinner set. So that's just going to bring it up naturally in conversation, because it's going to be the best green bean casserole they ever had.
Yeah, good point. Very well said, Leah. Of course, I have something to add. I really just want to underline what you were saying about that it's so important important for them to find something that they're comfortable saying. So, you gave some really good examples, and maybe some of those are exactly perfect, and it sounds like, oh, those are my perfect words. I want to say exactly that. And other people, you might need to play around with it a bit until it's totally comfortable to you, because the main takeaway here is that you find just a quick sentence or two that you will feel just 100% confident and proud to say, because that energy will just come right off of you. So I know that when I first got started with Wild Tree, I didn't even, in the beginning, I didn't even say the word Wild Tree necessarily unless they had already heard of it and asked me about it from that angle. But if someone was like, oh, what do you do? I would say Wild Tree later, but so in this case, Epicure later, but I would always say something like, oh yeah, I've started my own new meal solutions business. We help busy people get dinner on the table in 20 minutes or less. And then they're going to ask more about how that is or whatever. So I always found a way to just describe it in what sounded like I want to describe it as I started my business, and then, to underline that concept that you're an entrepreneur. But whatever description you want to do that feels good to you, that's the most important part.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, and again, sorry, feel free to jump in if anyone has questions about anything, or type it in the chat. I'm not looking at the chat, but because I just don't want to lose my screen share here. But the third thing we wanted to talk about tonight is reasons why you may want to consider becoming a leader. And some of you might not even know how you become a leader or what that even means. So we kind of want to break that down for you quickly here this evening. And we just have a couple slides still here. And I think Carrie Ann was going to kick us off with this.
If her connection allows it.
Yeah,
She's having
I think, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I remembered to take myself off of mute, so I'm winning so far. So reason to become an Epicure leader. So what is your why? So think about what your why is. Why do you want to become a leader, and what will it mean for you or for you and your family? Could it be, extra income, or for a vacation? I know someone in the group is using some of their Epicure funds to plan a fun trip to Disney. So lots of reasons for the why, but it could really just be personal, a personal goal to develop yourself and your skills as an entrepreneur. So think about what your why is as we go through this. Yes, #girlboss. So no glass ceiling. A little background on me. I have been a female in the IT industry since the mid-90s. So talk about glass ceilings. So this opportunity is so great. And I feel that Amelia and Sylvie have so much to do with how this company runs, and how gracious it is to the consultants and what advocates the business, and Sylvie and Amelia are for women. Be in the know, sneak peeks, events, exclusive updates for leaders only, you guys. This is one of my reasons. I love what's going on, and how can I help my customers, and how can I help my team grow. So this is a big one for me, and I kept telling my team, like, you guys, one of the big things is I'll know things ahead of time, and maybe there's things I could share, maybe I can't, but just to kind of be in the know and be an advocate for my team and what my team's needs are, as far as, what we need for training and what we need from our directors and from our organization, and to have a voice.
And I think it's about to kick us off. Maybe we should leave and then come back the same way you did at the beginning. All right, everybody?
All right, see you in a sec.